Hello students, today we'll be discussing problems on finding out total income, total taxable income of business, total income of the company, as well as finding out tax liability under normal provisions. Now look at this first question. They have given P&L account of Mr. Sajib, who is a resident for the year 31/3/2019. Now again, whenever they give P&L account, what we have to do? We have to see the list of items which they have debited to P&L account and the list of items which they have credited to P&L account, as well as additional information. Now at the end of the question they are given, we have to find out business income for the assessment year 2019-20. Business income is nothing but taxable income from business. So how to find out the business income or compute business income? In assessment of firms, how we used to compute book profit, in the same way in assessment of companies we have to find out the taxable income from business. There we used to call it as book profit, but here we are calling it as taxable income from business or business income. Now again, let us look at all the items which they have debited, and we have to see what are the items which are inadmissible, so that we have to add to net profit as per P&L account. Now here they have given first item which they have debited to P&L account is office expenses 4,500. Now anyways, but again office expenses means it is admissible in nature, because office expenses means it is related to business. But however, they are given additional information, point 1 in under additional information, they are given office expenses include 3,000 paid as compensation to old employee whose services were terminated. That means we are paying out of 4,200 rupees, 3,000 rupees is paid as a compensation to old employee. That means old employee is also earlier used to have a relation, employee-employee relation. So whatever this 3,000 you are paying as compensation to that old employee, it will be considered as admissible expenses. Then again, they have also given that 1,200 was given to a poor student as a way of help. That means they have given a donation of 1,200 rupees to some poor student. Now whatever donations and charities the company makes, like assessment of firms only, even in case of assessment of companies also, whenever we have donations and charity, it has to be added back to net profit. So out of 4,200, this 1,200 should be added back. Now again, they have given fire insurance premium 5,600. Fire insurance premium, again the company is making some insurance premium. They have taken some insurance, fire insurance policy. So this 5,600 will be admissible. No need to do any adjustments. Again, they have given bad debts 800 rupees. So that will also be admissible. No need to do anything. Now again, they have given salary to staff. So if they are paying any salary to employee or staff, it will be completely admissible. Now again, here they are given audit fee which is paid in cash 22,250. Now whenever the company is making cash payment which is beyond 20,000 or which is above 20,000, then such entire amount becomes completely inadmissible. Even the audit fee is related to business, but still since it is paid in cash and exceeding 20,000 rupees, entire amount becomes inadmissible. So this 22,250 should be added back to net profit. Then again, they have given proprietor's bonus and interest on capital. Like assessment of firms, what we used to do, whenever they used to give bonus, salary or capital to partners, we used to add back. Similarly here, whatever they give to, whatever payment is made to proprietor, that has to be added back. So they have made some payment to bonus, payment of bonus to proprietor, so it has to be added back. Then again, interest on capital to proprietor should also be added back to net profit. Then again, income tax, since it is personal expenditure, it has to be added back. And depreciation, see depreciation which they have given in P&L account should be added back, and depreciation which is admissible or allowable as per section 32 should be deducted. Then again, they are given sales tax due 3,000 rupees. Now if they have only given a sales tax, you should consider it as admissible, but here it is due, that is not paid. The sales tax which the company should have paid within certain due date, they have not paid within a due date, and this is an outstanding amount of 3,000 rupees. So if there are any outstanding expenses of business, it should be inadmissible and added back. Then again, they have given advance income tax paid. Income tax, advance income tax, anything related to income tax should be completely personal in nature, so it has to be added back to net profit. Then again, they have given charities. So any donations and charities, as usual, we have to add back. Now here they are given motor car expenses 750, but again in additional information they are given 60% of motor car expenses are used for proprietor's personal use. That means out of total usage of this motor car, whatever expenses they are given 750, 60% belongs to personal use. So 60% will become inadmissible. So 750 we have to multiply into 60%. That we will get 450, and that 450 we have to add back to net profit. Then again, municipal taxes of quarters led to employees. Now, if they had only given municipal taxes of quarters and they have not mentioned this word employees, then it would have become inadmissible, since they are paying municipal taxes on quarters and which is given to employees. That means it will be under employee welfare expenses, so it becomes admissible. So there is no need to add back this 6,000. Then again, net profit they are given 35,600. This will be the starting point for computation of taxable income from business. Now we have understood how to add all the items which are inadmissible from debit side. Now let us look at all the items on credit side of P&L account. Now they have given gross profit. So gross profit, there is no need for any adjustment. Again, they are given by bad debts recovered but allowed earlier. Now bad debts recovered allowed earlier means whatever bad debts the company had, now they are recovering, so it will become business income. So there is no need to do any adjustment. Now second, again this third item, interest from securities. Now interest from securities is not business income, it is income from other sources, so it has to be deducted. Now again, rent receipt from employees. Now 12,000 whatever they have given as rent receipt from employees, it is business income because they have let out quarters for employees. On the same, from the same they are collecting rent, so it should be considered as business income in this case. Instead, if they had given by rent receipt from house property, that means we should have treated it as income from house property. Since the rent are received from employees, it should be considered as business income itself. Then again, they have also given by interest from debtors for delayed payments. So they are receiving some interest from credit side, whatever they have made to their clients or customers, so it becomes part of your business income, no need to do any adjustment. Then again, by amount received from LIC on maturity, so this is also income from other sources, so this 300 should be again deducted from net profit. Now all the items which we have to add and which we have to deduct, we have understood. Now anyways, look at second point on additional information. They are given WDV of plant and machinery is 10,000 rupees. A new plant and machinery costing 20,000 was purchased on 16/12/2018 and put to use on 16/1/2019. That means they already had some machinery worth of 10,000 rupees. So on this again, we have to compute depreciation. Then again, they have purchased additional machinery costing 20,000 and it was put to use on 16th of January in the previous year. So 16th of January means it will be used for lesser than 180 days. So any asset which is purchased and put to use after 5th of October, that means we have to assume that it will be used for less than 180 days. So if it is used for less than 180 days, only half of the depreciation should be considered. Now, since it is a plant and machinery, we should also compute additional depreciation. Now, how to do this? Everything we will understand by looking at the answer. Now, let us understand how we have to start this problem. As usual, I told you have to start from net profit as per P&L account 35,600 and help to poor student. Out of office expenses of 4,500, I told 1,200 is help to poor student. So it will be considered as charity and we have to add back. Then audit fee paid in cash, since it is more than 20,000, we have to add back. Then again, proprietor bonus, we are adding it. Interest on capital paid to proprietor also we are adding. Then income tax depreciation debited to P&L account we are adding. Sales tax which is due or outstanding also we are adding. Advance income tax paid, charities and charities we are adding. And motor car, I told you 60% is used for personal use. So out of 750, 60%, if we calculate 450 will be for personal use, so that has to be added back. Then again we will be getting total of 85,000. Now again, I told you on the credit side we have to deduct certain non-business incomes. One is interest on security and amount received from LIC. So both are income from other sources. It is not related to business income, so we have to deduct from net profit. Then again, normal depreciation, I told you in again in additional information they are given. Already a plant and machinery was existing, which is whose WDV was 10,000. So for normal plant and machinery, the rate of depreciation on plant and machinery will be always be 15%. Even though they are not mentioned in the question, you should remember the normal rate of general plant and machinery will be 15%. So on this 10,000 old machinery, we are calculating normal depreciation 15%. Then again on this new plant and machinery 20, which we have purchased in previous year and put to use for less than 180 days, we have to separately calculate normal depreciation. So 20,000 is the cost of new plant and machinery into 15% is the rate of depreciation, and out of that 15% only half will be provided as depreciation, because since it is not used for more than 180 days, only half of normal depreciation will be admissible. Then again, since it is plant and machinery which is used for production purposes, it is eligible for additional depreciation. And as well as usual, additional depreciation should be calculated on cost of new plant and machinery, which is 20,000, and rate of additional depreciation will always be 20%. So again we have to multiply into half, because only half of 20% will be given, since the new plant and machinery is put to use for less than 180 days. So all the depreciation amount will be accounting to 5,000 rupees. So all this amount we have to deduct from net profit, and whatever end result 71,000 you get, that will be your taxable income from business. So this is about first problem. Hope you have understood the first problem.